Marshal Haftar rejects Government of National Accord Forces of Fayez al-Sarraj offer of ceasefire in Libya. New stage of proxy war between rivaling foreign adversaries will be continued in Libya. Libyan dossier, Part 1. Libya as a pawn in an epic power struggle between coalition of Egypt and Emirates versus Turkey and Qatar. On August 22, commander of Libyan National Army Marshal Khalifa Haftar had rejected a peace offer by his opponent, leader of residing in Tripoli, the Government of National Accord Fayez al-Sarraj. Ahmed Mismari, spokesman for Haftar's self-styled Libyan National Army LNA August 22, that GNA forces from countries west were mobilizing around front lines in the center of the country, around the coastal city of Sirte and Jufra, further inland. Mismari said that the ceasefire offer and a call for the resumption of oil production by the Tripoli-based Government of National Accord, GNA, is an initiative that al-Sarraj signed is for media marketing. There is a military build-up and the transfer of equipment to target our forces in Sirte. If al-Sarraj wanted a ceasefire, he would have drawn his forces back, not advanced towards our units in Sirte. Ever since 2011, Libya is experiencing worst upheaval in its history, since it gained independence from Italy in 1957. Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, who became ruler of this country as a result of military coup d'état in 1969, was violently killed by rival Islamist fractions of Benghazi and Misrata, led by Muslim Brothers sympathizers, in his hometown of Sirte in 2011. Bloody events of 2011 has happened as domino fall chain events of Arab Spring, that brought the overthrow of ruling regimes in Tunisia, Egypt, followed stalemated in Syria and Yemen as a result of disastrous civil wars with active participation of foreign powers. Overall, these events lead to heated geopolitical rivalries among set of regional and great powers over the influence, domination, and resources of Greater MENA region. MENA stands for Middle East and North Africa. The last of the regimes to fall was the eccentric ruling of Colonel Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. The ruler of Libyan Jamahiriya was even authored so-called Green Book. The colonel thought his writing is in a par with communist dogma books, like Capital of Karl Marx or even sacred religious books. Libya since 2011. Beginning of Libyan Spring events in 2011, by 2019 had have been transformed into the bitter rivalry between the two regional coalition of countries. The first coalition is consisting of Turkey and Qatar. They support recognized by United Nations the government of GNA or Government of National Accord, residing in the capital city of Tripoli. With military support of Turkey that was financially supported by Qatar, since January 2020, this coalition was able to recapture area to the south and west of the Tripoli. GNA head Fayaz al-Sarraj. The second coalition is consisting of Egypt that United Arab Emirates that supports forces of Marshal Khalifa Haftar and his Libyan National Army, LNA. Haftar launched an offensive in April 2019, having resulted to capture almost all of Libya, apart from the small pockets of land around cities of Tripoli, Misrata, and pockets on the border with Tunisia and deep in the south, with Algeria. His headquarters is in Benghazi. This bloc also includes the Libya parliament formally making a sit in the town of Tobruk, located close to border with Egypt. This coalition is also supported by Russia and France, as well as fellow Arab countries of the Gulf, like Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Bahrain. During the October 2019-May 2020 military campaign, the GNA coalition have made major strategic gains. Among the most important gains are the capture of the city of Tarhuna and airbase Al-Wadiya to the south of Libyan capital. But since May 2020, military actions came to stalemate around positions of warring groupings in vicinities of town of Sirte and airbase Al-Jufra. So far, none of the sides were taking active actions against each other, since Turkish-backed GNA forces were stopped in above-mentioned front lines. As a result of all of this, GNA announced total ceasefire on August 22, 2020 and Government of National Accord called for parliamentary and presidential elections to be held in March. We highly appreciate as you sign up for our channel and put your likes. This is very helpful. We also prod you to write comments and your opinion for future videos. However, this was a result of several major developments on the ground. 1. Egypt's President Sisi openly threatened military intervention on behalf of Marshal Haftar, had GNA coalition forces would have attached Sirte and Al-Jufra. He said pointed the possibility of a direct invasion of Libyan territory. According to him, any possible direct intervention in Libya by Egypt will have a legitimate status, said Al-Sisi, visiting a military base in Sidi Barani near the Libyan border on June 21. Any direct intervention by the Egyptian state has now gained international legitimacy, said Al-Sisi. This right is based on the need to protect the borders of Egypt from terrorist groups, put an end to bloodshed in Libya and support efforts to launch a political process there under the auspices of the UN. 2. Egypt. On July 8, 2020, with military supplies from Russia and said participation of French-made Rafale jets, destroyed some Libyan air base Al-Wadiyah, located 140 kilometers from Tripoli, were destroyed 3 Turkish anti-aircraft missile systems MIM-23 Hawk and electronic warfare and radar systems of Ukrainian production. Video, UAE aircrafts attacked Turkish air defense systems located at Libyan Al-Wadiyah air base. As a result of all of this, GNA announced total ceasefire on August 22, 2020 and Government of National Accord called for parliamentary and presidential elections to be held in March. However, the Marshal Haftar's supporters, despite hopes for lasting peace, have stated that they do not believe to sincerity of intentions of GNA and its backers to true peace in the Libya. Developments of the ground in the Libya will be followed and we will prepare videos of the Libyan dose in coming days. Our analysis of the ongoing battles between rival Libyan warring groupings and supporting them foreign powers allows us to conclude that the low-intensity military conflict in Libya will continue with periods of escalation to coming days and months. We highly appreciate your support, subscribing to this channel, your opinion and comments under this video. In coming days we will present analysis of Egypt-Ethiopia water dispute, conflict in Kashmir, tensions in South China Sea and many more others. Thank you for watching.